I'm Amy. This is my garden tour part one. I just started working on my yard a couple months ago, so I wanted to document the progress. Here are my hydrangea propagations that I took from cuttings off of my big hydrangea bush in the backyard. These three are about a month old, maybe 2 months old, and these three smaller ones are ones that I just took last week. Now we're in the front yard. This house is new construction. We bought it about 10 years ago. And these three evergreen bushes were the only thing that the builders planted. So then we went and bought another one to put there. But everything else down here is I just planted about a month ago. Got a mixture of some Veronica, Salvia, and some Dianthus. Pretty happy with how it's turning out. Then over here we have a dogwood tree and two Japanese maples. Okay, now we're in the backyard. This is the Limelight. I planted this back in May. When I planted it, it's kind of on a little slope, and right after I planted it, it rained so much that it kind of made the shrub fall over. So it was, I don't know if you can tell, it was kind of growing like sideways instead of straight up. So I had to dig it back out and kind of straighten it back up. It lost a lot of leaves when that happened, but it's got a lot of new growth. So I think it'll be okay. This is just some leftover Veronica and Salvia I had from the front yard. And this is a Verbenum, I think. It's a ground cover. I just planted it the other day. And here's a butterfly bush. This is also only since May. It's grown, it's probably tripled in size, but it doesn't have any flowers yet. This is the fountain we just made for the early anniversary present. We just made it out of some terracotta pots, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. We bought a little fountain head to put up there to try to make it louder so we could hear it from the porch, but we haven't put that on yet. This is a big azalea bush. There used to be two. That one, we had a lot of snow this past year. That one didn't make it, but it's got a new little guy growing out. So we'll see how he does. But this one is about 10 years old, probably. Over here is my big hydrangea bush. It's about 10 years old. I don't prune it unless I'm taking cuttings or bringing flowers in from the house. It has the new flowers are bright blue. I don't know if you can see that back there. And then it kind of ages to this really cool greenish, purplish flower, which I love. But yeah, this was the first thing we planted when we moved in 10 years ago, and it's doing great. This is my current work in progress. We have a drainage ditch, like an easement down at the other side of the yard. So I'm trying to connect them because when it rains, this little area floods a lot. So I'm trying to connect it, one, so it'll be functional and actually drain the water, and two, just try to make it look nice, like a dry creek bed. All of these rocks I dug out from this yard, which is crazy. That's probably why we've lived here for 10 years and never planted anything, because the soil is clay, and then we just, apparently before we moved in, this was just a dumping ground for people. So there's just rocks everywhere. All of these rocks came from this backyard. So I'm just slowly digging up rocks, and then I'm putting down cardboard as like a weed barrier, and then filling it with rocks. And then eventually it'll go all the way down to the other end of the yard. And back here, excuse all the grass popping through. It's been raining for like 3 days straight, so I haven't had a chance to come out here and weed, but I planted all this lavender in this new flower bed that we made. And I got this bench from my aunt, and I spray painted it. Just a nice little, those chairs aren't going to be there permanently, but they're just kind of there for now. Underneath this pear tree. Just a nice sitting area, sit and watch my son while he plays on his play set. And that's about it. Probably the next video I do will be a cactus and succulent tour, because I've also recently become obsessed with cactuses and succulents. Those live all up there on our screen porch. So I will do a video of that next, probably. Bye.